Good morning. So today's video is in response to a comment a subscriber made about wanting to get into business doing construction or carpentry, or more specifically, they wanted to do garages. I want to go inside and talk about it. You can come in too. It's nice and warm in here. It was the best of years. It was the worst of years. Back around 1990, I'm just going to start how I got into building garage. It didn't start out as doing just garages. I met with another good friend of mine who was really a good businessman, and said, "So what do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I really want to build garages, or I want to do carpentry and be on my own doing that." So he says, "Well, what do you have for thoughts?" I said, "Well, I think if I just put an ad in the newspaper and people will come to me." And he says, and he didn't laugh. He thought I was serious. And I kind of half was. He says, "Well, how much money would you need?" And I had actually looked into it. I said, this is back in 1990, 89. I need about $600 to put an insert in the newspaper, a flyer. So that would include getting, I think it was 20,000 copies of a flyer, having somebody make up the flyer and put it in the newspaper and send it out to the local people. So that's how I started. I used to have the original, the first year that I ever did this. It was just a coupon clip out of things. I priced out how much it would cost to build a deck, like a 12 by 16 pressure treated deck, and how much it would cost to wallpaper a room, how much it would cost to paint a room, how much it would cost for a 2-car 24 by 24 garage. There were 3 or 4 other items. I don't remember what they were, but beforehand I priced everything out so that I knew how much it would cost to do that. So we put the ad in the paper, and I sat, and I waited, and I waited, and waited. Oh, I forgot to say, my friend said, "You know what? I'll give you the money to run the ad." And so I agreed, and then he says, "No, wait a minute. I'll loan you the money. I don't want you to feel like it's a handout. I'll loan you the money, and you can pay me back whenever you can." So that's how it went. So we waited. We got the insert in the paper, and I waited, and it was 3 days before I got a phone call, and I'm like, what did I just do? And then I got a call, and it was sort of an acquaintance, but they wanted a garage. And so so now I have to have a proposal made up, or a contract to sign, and that describes everything so they know what they're getting. So we did that, and we built a garage, and they were happy, and everything went well. And I also sold a few decks. Fortunately, I didn't wallpaper any rooms. My dad was a wallpaper, his dad, and I think his dad was. So there's several generations of wallpaperers, and I knew how to do it, but not very well. So I'm glad I didn't get that. Then, I think the first year, we built, I think, 6 garages. And I would always keep track of where we're at on a spreadsheet to know if I'm figuring it correctly. And it was always showing that I made over whatever, $500. Well, back then, two-car garages were $5,900 for a 24 by 24 ranch with concrete up, everything finished on the outside, T111 stained, pine trim, 2 garage doors, a 3-foot entry door. I even did the electrical. I put in 4 or 5 outlets, and I would tie into their breaker box. This was 30 years ago, so it was a little more lenient on doing electrical work. Motion light, did pretty much everything so that they could just hit a button, the garage doors would go up, and so on. I developed a garage order form. Hold on there. A garage order form so that I could cover all the details that needed to be addressed. I developed a checklist. This was a concrete checklist so that when we load up to go out and pour a slab, we would have everything that we needed. So the thing is, at the end of the year, after building 6 garages and looking like I'd made, say, $1,000 profit after my labor, I'm thinking, this is easy. However, why don't I have any money on my checking account? So I took a hard look at everything. I was not allowing for advertising, the gas in the truck, tool breakdowns, replacements, just wear and tear on equipment, all the peripheral stuff that is an actual cost, right down to having to have a computer in order to do all this stuff. So all of a sudden my prices had to go up to cover that. And through the years, I would fine-tune that and fine-tune it, and got to know, we could tell within 5 man-hours, how long it would take to build a standard garage that we offer. So that being said, that's kind of how I got started in doing just garages. Once after that first year, I concentrated just on garages, but still took on other work. People would be saying, "What? You can't do that," and that, I guess, drove me even more to not in a stubborn way, but I could see that it would work, so I just stuck to it. And that's probably the biggest thing in making it being self-employed, is you can't let a bad weather day put you out of business. You need to be driven. You have to have it in the gut to do it. If I know that when I did carpentry way back with a large crew, I would watch my carpenters, my lead carpenters that had so much more experience than I would learn from them what they did, some of their tricks. It's very valuable to not think that you have all the answers, that I have all the answers, and that I was willing to learn from others. You can never learn enough in pretty much any business. There's always something to be learned. There's also the attitude. Meekness is not weakness. You don't have to be overbearing and pushy to do something and do it the way you think it should be done. So another thing, banking. If you're starting a business, what I found way back when I was first getting started was if I needed money to finance something, even to buy a house, if you're self-employed and you're kind of new, typically banks are going to want information that is hard sometimes, especially self-employed, hard to come up with, because I used to be asked a 6 months projection or 9 months projection of your work and what the gross receipts would be, what your costs would be, a total breakout, which is a great exercise because it gets you to think, what are my costs? Can I really actually do a garage for this much? And so that was actually helpful early on, 35 years ago, doing that so you knew what you were doing, and if a bank felt comfortable enough believing what you say you can do, you better darn well do it, first of all, or there won't be funds available if you need them later on. So budgeting is really important. I strongly don't recommend going out and buying. Look at this. Look at this. I am absolutely in no way bragging. I mean, it's not of a pile of tools. Look at this. I mean, a hedge trimmer. A few hundred dollars. 35 years ago, I could not afford a battery. You need to build up, hold on. If you're just starting out and you don't have much to work with, it's not recommended to go out and buy $50,000 worth of tools and not have any work lined up. Or have work lined up, but it doesn't pertain to the tools that you just bought. So planning as you go is a great idea. Not overdoing it, staying within your budget. And then scheduling. Let's talk about scheduling. So scheduling in construction is one of the hardest things to do, to maintain and keep an even keel with. I've gotten to the point where now I will purposely leave lead time. If I know a garage is going to take me a week, I will add a couple of extra days as far as scheduling in my mind, or I'll write down the projects that I have coming up, and I will schedule them out for multiple reasons. One is weather. When you're building outside, you're subject to the weather, rain, hail, sleet, or snow. Up here we don't get hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, things like that. We have to deal with snow in the colder months, and you never know when it's going to rain. When in building, that's one reason I wanted to shop, is so that we could, if it did rain, we could work inside, and it helped a little bit in being able to keep a constant flow. And then you're always, well, what if it's a sick day? What if there's a family thing that comes up that you have to take some time off? So I try to allow, just like budgeting financially, try to allow time-wise how, so I don't get stretched way out. I've, in years past, not in the past number of years, but a long time ago, I have actually got caught where I was supposed to be on maybe 4 jobs come Monday morning, and it was Sunday night. And it was just me and maybe one other person. That is not a fun feeling. So it's really important to schedule time. It also gives you a good reputation as far as being timely. And when you say you're going to do something, do it. Wow, this sounds like a lecture. It's not a lecture. This is what I've learned over the years, that it's really important to try your hardest. There's always things that come up, and you try to. I was never a Marine. I admire them. What is they're saying? Adapt, improvise, and overcome. So you have to kind of go with the flow a little bit, try to make it work. Let me try to just sum this up. So the first order of business is you have to have skills if you're going to start your own business to build. If in my situation as a builder, that's priority. You have to know how to do the actual work, pounding nails and so on. The second is, if you're going to contract to someone, you need to make sure you know what the costs are. You need to know for sure what they want, and that they understand what you're going to do, so that there's no misunderstandings. I thought I was getting a 4-bay garage. Nope, just a 2-bay, sorry. You don't want that to ever happen. And so you need the skills. You need to plan and make sure you're as one with the customer. You need to know the product, the costs of the product. If they're going to fluctuate, I quite often ask salespeople, what are you seeing? Are you seeing lumber going up or down? Or garage doors, are they going up or down? Or windows, whatever it might be. And you try to cover all those bases, make sure you know what the costs are going to be. If you hear they're going up, you better get out and get it pretty quick if you're locked into a price. The other thing is, so that's another thing, I guarantee my price as long as we do it the way we talked about in the proposal. If there's a variation, I always put it on the bottom of the contract. Changes will be adjusted at the end of the project, whether up or down. If they delete a window, then we'll delete a window and delete that cost. Or if they add on something. That, by doing that, it allows you to come in at your budget, what you had allotted for that. And then in turn, when bankers see that you're doing things in a timely manner, and you can even show a job completed and do a rundown of what time and materials were, they will be much more eager to supply you funds if you need them for something. I'm sure I didn't cover everything. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Tap the bell. Apparently that's a big deal. People don't get warned or told that I put a video out. I've had that happen a lot. And have a great day. All right. See you later. Thanks.